80% of your analyst and data engineering time is taken out. In RealSage, even if you're sending an Excel sheet now, so you say, oh, this is how my performance is going in my building, or this is how my leasing team is performing. You can literally drag and drop that Excel file in the same shape or form, and our system can recognize data labels and what are the database columns and automatically report errors if there are any in your ERP that you need to go and fix, instead of finding, oh, what went wrong and why I'm not able to ingest data. My name is Arunabh Dastidar, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of RealSage.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries.
Like 6 months moonlighting.
There's nothing at the back end.
Who share what it takes to change an industry.
I don't exactly know what to do
took
next.
many goes to get right.
Who built the teams that have their back.
Company is its people.
The teams help each other achieve. I was proud of our team.
Keeping scalability top of mind.
All that infrastructure was
Yes, we've been fighting it as we grow.
Total waste of time.
The stories you don't read in the headlines.
It's not an easy thing to achieve, mind
Took it
you.
off the shelf and dusted it off and tried it again.
To ride the ups and downs of the startup life.
You need to really want it. Not just about technology.
All this and more on Code Story. I'm your host, Noah Laphart, and today how Arunabh Dastidar is enabling you to find meaningful insights and turn your data into cash flow. This episode is supported by Terso. Terso is the open-source edge database from the creators of libSQL. Do you put your edge computing close to your users? You should put your data there too. Terso makes this easy utilizing the developer experience of SQLite. Access a free starter plan at terso.tech/codestory. Terso, welcome to the data edge. This episode is brought to you by our friends at MemberStack. MemberStack is the fastest way for you to launch a beautiful Webflow MVP with robust authentication and smooth payments integration. Join companies like Slack and American Airlines in serving millions of members every single day. Get started for free by visiting memberstack.com/codestory. Arunabh Dastidar has a background in engineering, starting to code in his teens. In fact, he was building and selling web products even prior to college. He spends most of his free time thinking about tech and startups, but when he's not, he plays acoustic guitar and attends music festivals. He enjoys traveling and trying food across the world, mentioning that Tokyo ruined sushi for him because it was so good. Arunabh was on a very important call, and his Excel spreadsheet was crashing. He looked left and right and couldn't find anything to support what he needed. Eventually, he found some co-founders and built the solution he wished he had for the industry. This is the creation story of RealSage.
RealSage as a company essentially is a decision support system for asset owners and managers. We use data science and AI for helping asset owners make faster and more accurate decisions around pricing readjustment, budget reallocation, refinancing, and where your next dollar should go based on your tenant satisfaction scores and so on, so that you can improve the bottom lines much more efficiently. We essentially take our customers from hindsight, what it means that, how anything is happening in my portfolio, to foresight, how can I make this happen for my portfolio, or how can I achieve this particular NOI growth target through a very unique journey of data-driven decisions. One of our clients actually gave this name to us, that you guys are like Tesla for real estate. We allow the asset manager owner to be on the wheel while constantly giving them the right inputs about what's going on in the external and internal environment of their portfolios, and give them nuggets and insights and suggestions like, don't merge yet, there is someone in front of you, take a right and you will save 20 minutes. So reducing the chances of failure and improving the path to destination. On this unique Friday evening, I was taking a call on a $130 million repackaging deal we had to close, and my Excels were crashing. And as they say it, necessity is mother of invention. I actually looked around There was no solution which was providing support to be better at those decision-making angles and handle data the way what RealSage currently does. I switched my hats from being a director of asset management, handling over $1 billion of real estate assets across North America, to being engineer back, and worked with two amazing co-founders to build RealSage. And then I do have an experience because my early career and journey have been in infrastructure and real estate, bringing some of the largest projects, like working at some of the largest projects in Asia Pacific, and bringing technology from Germany and Japan to India for building railways, and consulting with JLL and Cushman & Wakefield to get projects across Asia Pacific. That background of mine actually gets me to problem solve and also bring newer technologies to the industry. I thought this is a great opportunity to really bring the industry from a $43 trillion industry and slow-moving decision-making industry to a faster, more appropriate industry in this era.
Okay, let's dive into the MVP then. So that first version of the product you built, how long did it take you to build, and what sort of tools did you use to bring it to life?
Given I have an engineering background, I do understand one of the very specific thing about building products is talking to customers. So that's where we got started. We all went and spoke to dozens of people to validate the problem which we are facing. The problem was that data across real estate is bucketed into either functional silos or technological silos and point solutions. And still, this multi-trillion-dollar industry is making decisions and handling crucial tasks by bringing those point solution data on Excel sheets pulled together by analysts for a quarterly meeting. Everything is just backward looking, and you don't have any foresight on where you are heading or how you are going to head towards it given your internal system. We spoke to dozens of industry leaders, understood what are the basic decision-making points they go in and are looking to accomplish, and then we started building our MVP. We work with some of the topmost PhDs in US and Canada to bring together very specific AI models to optimize data. So our first MVP was all about how we ingest this very disparate sets of structured, unstructured data and go from there to basically showing and displaying it. Of course, in terms of tools, when you ask, we're microservices-based infrastructure, state-of-the-art technologies. So we did start out at a very solid technological foundation, brought that MVP to market with our first beta customers in the first 6 months. And then we started iterating and changing very fast before our commercial launch, which was last year in October.
This episode is encrypted by CipherStash. Data breaches are becoming a fact of life. Know why? One of the reasons is because developers lack the right tooling to get the job done, i.e. encryption at rest tools are complex and inadequate. The solution? Encryption in use with CipherStash. CipherStash uses searchable encryption in use technology, providing continuous and universal protection for sensitive data. With CipherStash, you can turn your existing database into a vault, utilizing zero-trust key management, SQL native, and with no code. Though encryption is complicated, CipherStash is easy to use. The tool fully supports SQL via a drop-in driver replacement, supporting the query types you know and love today. And did we mention it's fast? For queries over 100 million records, you can expect additional overhead of less than 1 millisecond. It's a no-brainer. Get started by reviewing their docs or downloading sample projects in Rails or Node plus Sequelize today. Visit cypherstash.com/codestory and get started protecting your data. This episode is supported by Treble. This day and age, APIs are a fact of life. And as such, product and engineering teams need tooling that is lightweight, real-time, and data-rich to help them ship and maintain APIs faster. That's where Treble comes in. Treble is an all-in-one platform for the entire API lifecycle. The product offers world-class monitoring and observability, providing more than 40 data points for each request, enabling you to understand everything from performance to user behavior. Dashboards help connecting your entire team for lifecycle collaboration. Documentation is automatically generated, saving massive amounts of time for your development team with every new release. And setting up Treble? Super easy and fast. In 3 simple steps, you can be up and running with their platform. Their pricing is designed to support API teams of all sizes. So get started with Treble today and automate your API ops. Did I mention they have a free forever plan? Find out more by visiting treble.com/codestory. That's TRBLLE.com/codestory. So you've got your MVP, it's working, you're getting some traction. How have you progressed and matured it? And I'm curious about how you go about building your roadmap and how you decided, okay, this is the next most important thing to build or to address with RealSage.
Our product roadmap is purely driven by understanding the vision of the company. And the vision is something which I talk about like a mad person and a broken record every time. Our vision is to change how real estate makes decision in the next 5 years time frame. How we do that is to enable every decision maker with a fantastic data-driven, AI-driven tool set that makes their job easy and give them the foresight they were lacking or struggling with over the past few years. What happened once we gave these MVP to our alpha customers, they started giving us great feedback. And that feedback was made the core of how our product is designed. Most of our clients just are surprised how easy it is to use RealSage and have not seen the products, because real estate is seasoned to see any software implementation would take them 2 years and they would never get around it, because all these softwares are way more technical than their technical appetite, and that's the disconnect. While when we matured the product, we made sure, and given I am an engineer and on the other side have been on the asset management side, that was one of the main focus on the maturity cycle of our product. So we did mature our MVP to have components that makes it even easier. So to give you a specific example, data in these companies are unstructured, sometimes structured, but a lot of times have holes and errors in it. Most of the companies spend a lot of man hours in cleaning that data, in error validating that data. That delays their implementation to see any kinds of business intelligence or any kinds of inferences from those reports. We have matured our product where we use AI to auto map, auto spread data, validate the data, and give the error reporting while you're ingesting the data. So 80% of your analyst and data engineering time is taken out. In RealSage, even if you're sending an Excel sheet now to your roll-up, so to say, oh, this is how my performance is going in my building, or this is how my leasing team is performing, you can literally drag and drop that Excel file in the same shape or form, and our system can recognize what are the data labels and what are the database columns that needs to match it, and automatically report errors if there are any in your ERP that you need to go and fix, instead of finding, oh, what went wrong and why I'm not able to ingest data. We made sure that even though your data is 60%, we bring it up to a point where you can immediately start benefiting from the business intelligence, the reporting structures we have in-house. And then we employed some of the top PhDs to build very specific AI models across 35 different use cases, which literally tells you, you know what, you are failing on your budget in this particular building. Why don't you reallocate your marketing budget from channel A to channel B? And I can, as I predict, it can save you around $3,000 by doing that, and you will hit your targets better. So it's similar to saying, I have found a faster route for you to get to your home. Those AI models are something which we are looking to build more and have more of a nudge towards better, faster decision making.
So I hear you saying we a lot. Tell me about how you built your team and what you look for in those people to indicate that they were the winning horses to join you.
People define everything. It's your culture. It's everyone who is aligned towards the mission and everyone who has the right skill set to bring on the table. At RailSage, we only hire exceptional people. So there is a very high bar. They need to be exceptional in their drive. We consider our culture to be the top rowing team in the world who is rowing towards the same direction, and also don't hesitate to pick up each other's pace to actually get to the destination. And our team works like that. We do work with a lot of universities in internship programs, so that's actually a good conduit for giving someone a full-time offer after you have reviewed how they perform and whether they are a culture fit or not. I'm a big believer I don't think interviews are the best way, even though you have 4 levels of interviews, are the best way of getting into the right talent. But if you have a good conduit of senior people as well as early stage junior engineers coming in for internship and working with your team for some time before they become a permanent part of the team, it has worked out a lot for us.
This episode was automatically optimized by Cast. If you run cloud-native software on AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure, you know how out of hand the bill can get. This uncertainty hurts your business, but you can solve it with Cast AI. Cast AI automates cloud cost, performance, and security management for hundreds of companies of all sizes. The platform's customers begin saving immediately and cut an average of over 60%. So before you go and sign a multi-year contract with a cloud provider or lay people off, check out what Cast AI can do for you. To get you saving even faster, Cast AI is offering a free cloud cost audit with a personal consultation. Visit cast.ai/codestory to get started. This episode is supported by Terso. Terso is the open source edge database from the creators of libSQL, the popular fork of SQLite. If you put your edge computing close to your users, like with Netlify or Vercel edge functions or Cloudflare workers, you should put your data there too, in order to maximize performance gains at the edge. Terso makes it easy. With a developer experience of SQLite and a distributed database you can replicate much closer to your users than traditional database offerings in the cloud. Terso's lightweight, easy to use, and free to get started. The team at Terso is offering a generous starter plan specifically for CodeStory listeners. Head over to terso.tech/codestory and get started today. That's TURSO.tech/codestory. Terso, welcome to the Data Edge. Let's flip to scalability then. And this will be interesting, given what you're building. Did you build this to scale efficiently from day one or with scale in mind? Or have you been fighting this in any sort of capacity as you grow?
We're a team of engineers. We have built this scale in mind from day one. Our whole infrastructure is microservices driven, and a lot of people will tell you at early stage that it's so tough to maintain, manage, and all that effort which goes into doing it. But we, from the very beginning, had a policy of making modular infrastructure and scalable infrastructure as a technology company. And specifically in the space we are in, which is like advanced data science, AI on one side, and on other side, a super traditional industry with unstructured and structured data with a lot of holes. So making sure those two combined, we needed to make sure that our system is very flexible from day one. And we did the same.
As you step out on the balcony and you look across all that you've built, what are you most proud of?
I think what I'm most proud of is the smiles and happiness which our users feel when they actually use our product. You can build whatever. You can build a great building. If there is no one living in there and enjoying their life, it's worthless. And I personally go on onboarding the customers. I personally do most of the customer experience checks. And when I hear them saying, dude, this is so easy, or this is phenomenal, I can't believe how you guys do this, is what just fills my heart with gratitude and makes me feel proud.
Let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
Recently, we are working on this distribution partnership with one of the largest players in the US to bring our product to market for the last 6 months. And right before the contract was about to get signed, there is a miscommunication with a couple of team members and their team members, and the deal absolutely was falling through. And I was away that actually week as well, but I was reached out, and then I said, don't worry. In startups, one thing I'm really for is giving the flexibility to fail and giving the flexibility to do mistakes. And none of my team members are any time or ever punished for mistakes. I do ask the question, what do you learn from it, immediately, so that the next time we can encourage the right proceedings. And we had that discussion internally. We brought them back. We're talking about it on a weekend, and then we said, okay, let's talk to them and make sure that I'm on the call and have that candid discussion about how to fix the problem and how we can move forward together. And the other side took it really positively. We did ended up signing that contract right after 2 days, while it was disaster on the weekend. We got back. We all worked together on the weekend and got them back on the table, and ended up having one of the biggest partnerships in the history of the company.
This will be fun. So, what does the future look like for RealSage, the product, and for your team?
We are synonymous to data-driven decision-making across real estate. And that's what the future for real estate is. As electric cars are Tesla, as toothpaste is Colgate, you name it, we want to be that market leader on data-driven decision-making across real estate. And we should be the pioneers to bring this industry at a new era of transactions, operations, and actions. If I succeed in my mission, nobody would have that saying, real estate moves slow. And that should be the future for our company. On the technology side of things, we are definitely looking to build very specific AI models for the industry that are currently patent pending, and bring the latest and the greatest tools to the industry to basically reach that mission of changing the way how real estate makes decisions.
Arunabh, let's switch to you. Who influences the way that you work? Name a person or many persons or something you look up to, and why.
A lot of people who know me would know this, that I have gotten really good mentors in my life. And I come from a very humble background in some part of India, and I started working really early on and bagged all kinds of scholarships to move up the ladder across academia and in my professional life. One of the highlights of my early career is working with some of the brilliant most mind as a 21-year-old, only 21-year-old in the room, with Germany, Japan, and India, and everyone was literally twice or more of my age, and were collaborating and working through the problems of $5 billion project. I have a bunch of people who mentored me, and then specifically after that, I worked with 5 state governments, with the top contracting, a GC firm across Asia Pacific. I moved up the ladder, reporting directly to the CEO, and I was so inspired by him and his conduct and his bravery across different times, because the company actually went through an entire cycle of being about to be bankrupt to back on the top. And that story and that experience very early in my career was like just phenomenal. And I'm still in touch with the president of the company. He encourages me to do what I generally do in my life. And throughout, I thank all people who have taken that extra effort to like really mentor me or really give me a new skill in project management, project planning, coding, and things like that. It's a combination of very nice people. And I think that's usual for world. People are willing to help if you go a little extra mile for them as well. Now I do the same. I try giving back to the industry. I sit on advisory boards on a couple of companies and I mentor startups, which definitely gets you that feeling of giving back and trying to provide what you have received early on in your career.
Last question, Arunabh. So you're getting on a plane, you're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world and can't wait to show it off to you right there on the plane. What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit?
The only advice what I give to anyone who is willing to take the entrepreneurship journey is to persevere. All that excitement, all that passion of building new product gets you in the door and gets you started, but doesn't actually get you to success. What gets you to success is to sticking with the right mindset of agility, pivot fast, failing fast, and still persevere when that passion has waned out, or you realize, oh, I was in my bubble, or you realize, oh, this is not something which people want to buy. I recently saw this great quote say, we are here not because it's easy, we are here because we thought it would be easy. That's where it just changes the game of like really successful entrepreneurs and others, because the really successful ones actually have persevered when it was not easy. And the second thing is, I've heard it from a lot of people, and I also do agree about it, is it's always great to fall in love with the problem and not the solution. And if you can spend a good amount of time in understanding and listening and thinking about the problem, the solution becomes obvious.
That's great advice. Well, Arunabh, thank you for being on the show today, and thank you for telling the creation story of Real Sage.
Thanks a lot, Noah, for having me.
And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.